always talk about this, but I had a very traumatic situation that happened in my early 20s, which I had a house fire. I lost everything. And that definitely rewired the way I think about life in its entirety. Um, like one day you can be like hanging out, the other day something can be gone in the instance. That's just the way that
Welcome
life.
to Muscle Moments. A few years ago, I couldn't wipe my own ass, get in a shower, or walk myself into a store. Multiple surgeries had taken me apart, and what got me back wasn't a diet. It was strength I'd already built. I'm your host, Dana Wildeboer, and I am obsessed with helping people become the strongest, most capable versions of themselves. I've been an athlete my whole life, and I spent decades working my way to the C-suite in corporate. Those two things, coupled with my own health journey, proved to me that strength is the one thing that impacts everything. Your energy, your confidence, your independence, how you age, and how you show up. That's why I coach the way I coach, and the reason I started this podcast. But now that we're into it, I can't wait for you to hear why people who focus on strength and movement as a pillar of their life love it so much, and how it helps them break through their stories and achieve their dreams. It's raw, gritty, and unfiltered. I'm done watching people settle for small when what saves your life is strong. I'm singing it from the rooftops starting now. This is Muscle Moments. Let's get into it. Today's guest has spent her career helping organizations build brands and forge real human connections in industries that don't always make space for it. She's the Senior Vice President of Marketing at Allraise, one of the largest networks in the country supporting women and non-binary investors in venture capital. She was partner and CMO at Anthemis, a global VC firm, where she led marketing, communications, and business development across the entire platform. She's been featured in Fast Company, named an inspiring fintech female by New York Fintech Women, and she's one of those people who has figured out how to be seriously ambitious and take care of herself at the same time. And she has a lot to say about what it costs when you don't ask for what you need. Welcome to the show, Elise Brown.
Thank you so much, Dana, for having me. You know, I love to chit chat with you, so I love it.
The feeling is mutual, and I'm so glad you're here. Our relationship transcends a lot of our lives. If we have a Venn diagram, I feel like we've got a lot in that intersection there.
Absolutely.
And one of the areas where we intersect is the importance of movement in our life. And I would like to hear from you. How do you define strength?
This is such a great question, and I often get this quite a bit from even my own community, how I define strength. So for me, I have to be mentally and physically strong. Mentally means I'm taking care of me. I put myself first. So if am I getting the rest I need? Am I drinking the water I need and minding my business? Am I being creative? And that's using outlets such as like reading or even using my hands of some sort. And also, do I really have the hobby I need to succeed? That's key, because a lot of people look up and they don't have one hobby. And I'm like, I never want to be that person ever again, because I love to do so many different things. And I would say from a physical standpoint, and I started doing this probably really aggressively last year, is moving my body anytime I have a chance to. So that means weightlifting. That means eating the necessary food to fuel my body. Dana, you and I always chit chat about this, the protein girl. You got to eat that protein. I feel so physically and mentally strong because I feel my body necessarily like the right way. And I would say it also helps. I have an incredible trainer, Trevor Cassidy. Shout out to him. He's really transformed the way I even think about my body. And I also think that makes a big difference. I think that for so long, like even yes, I care about how I look, but how do I feel? When I put on my favorite pair of jeans, when I'm not out of breath, when I'm going up a staircase, etc. Like I want to feel strong like that. So that's what I mean about being mentally and physically strong. Do I have the right elements and the fuel to ensure that I am all those things to be the best version of myself?
So what I love about what you just said is it's about being a well-rounded person. I especially loved the note about hobbies, because
Yes.
Coming from the big career space myself, that can be really hard to make happen. But
Yeah.
there is research that's been done that shows take that second, interrupt the signals, go do something completely out of left field, go color or something. What are the hobbies that you work in to help keep that balance throughout your day and make you feel like a full person?
I'll be honest. One of the hobbies that I have that is so peaceful to me is reading. It's reading or listening to Audible because it's the one time that my brain shuts off. And if I do need to move my body, I love popping in Audible and walking and listening and just being in nature somehow, some way in Central Park. I think it's great. I have my walking pad. If things hit the fan, I need to be indoors.
Yeah.
I think that's perfect. Another hobby that I'm actually slowly trying to pick up, but it's much harder than it seems, is knitting. I've always liked to work with my hands. So
knitting is hard, sis.
knitting is hard. And I have this incredible 73-year-old woman teaching me, my best friend's cousin. And listen, love her, but her patience. She's Elise, you should have started with crocheting. And I love a challenge. I'm like, no, we're going to get this done. So stay tuned for more.
I can't wait.
I'm still working through that. So I would say those are the big things. And of course, I'll never lie. I love getting out of the streets, dilly-dallying around. I love shopping. I love traveling. I love eating. Eating's a hobby for me.
Same. It's a love
I think
language.
it's a love language, which is a hobby. I love trying new foods. I love it. You will always catch me outside. Something new. And it doesn't have to be like the biggest and best place. I just love great foods. I think it tells you a lot about someone's culture, how people really find joy in life. And that's eating for me. So that's a hobby.
For the voracious readers in the audience, what are you reading right now?
Oh man, what am I reading? I always read, so I will always say I always read the news. I want to know what's going on in marketing, finance, VC, tech. I think it's important. But I also think a very important component of a marketer is understand what's going on from a cultural standpoint. So politics, pop culture, just humanity as a whole. I think if you have a human side of you, it makes you a better marketer. And real marketers, they know. Let me see. Let me go to my Kindle app because listen, it's always popping somewhere.
Yeah.
So I love a very good autobiography. So Cicely Tyson, As I Am, that was an incredible, incredible book. I will always say read that. It talks about her life. And Cicely Tyson, if people don't know her, she was an incredible actress. She built her career. She was in New York. And it just talks about her life and her journey. Kennedy Ryan, which is an incredible Black author, she just writes about things from like mental health, wellness, but in a way that is this incredible storyline. It makes you think differently about how people just approach life. So really enjoy that.
Well, I know one of the things that we have talked about often is asking for what you need. And you talk about it as the art of asking. So what does that mean to you? But more importantly, what is the cost to us when we don't ask?
Yeah. So listen, I always talk about this, but I had a very traumatic situation that happened in my early 20s, which I had a house fire. I lost everything. And that definitely rewired the way I think about life in its entirety. Like one day you can be like hanging out, the other day something can be gone in the instance. That's just the way that life is. Sometimes, and most people know that better than others. And then for me, once that happened, and this was in like my early 20s when I was really starting my career, it really transformed the way I started living life. I was like, listen, I just got to go for it and ask. If you don't ask for the order, you never know what can happen. True. You don't know what the response is if you don't ask. And what I also started seeing is people that look like me often did not ask for things they wanted. They didn't. But I looked around and I saw other folks, sometimes males, etc., asking for all the things and most of the time getting what they've asked for. So I started doing that myself. It started very small. It started with, hey, I want to actually take on this other opportunity because I think it can lead to me being in New York City. Reached out to someone that's actually now a really dear friend of mine, a financial advisor. But at that time, he was in-house at a financial firm I was at. I was like, hey, I would love to be a relationship manager. I know this is ridiculous. I'm early 20s, but I really want to really learn about larger asset managers and have connectivity to New York. And in order to do that, I have to have this type of opportunity in this role. And he said, you know what? I'll take you under my wing. He took me under the wing, learned the ropes. And if it wasn't for that, would I have gone to New York? Maybe, but maybe not. I don't know. But once I started, taking on those responsibilities, I learned a lot more about larger asset managers and realized I loved New York City. And I felt like my energy really needed to be in a city such as this. Found my way here through the connections I made in being a relationship manager for a large institution. And it just became something so much more. And that's how my life has always gone. There's a lot of really hard things happening in the world right now. And I think a lot of people are retreating and nervous about taking on opportunities, nervous about asking for something that maybe feels out of scope or unattainable. But I think if we don't do that, then there's so many more opportunities that will go to folks that don't look like you and I. And I think that's what sticks with me. Honestly, I just don't think it's great suppressing what you want. There's been links to suppressing your emotions, suppressing what you want into immune disorders, inflammation, pain, headaches, suffering, etc. And I think that also stems to a lot of generational trauma many folks often have within their immediate community, their families. So I'm really trying to do what I can as a person to try to fight against that. And listen, some people might call me aggressive. I don't think I'm aggressive, by the way. Some might call me aggressive or overly ambitious, but I can only be who I am. And I don't want to waste time thinking about, oh, this could have happened. This could have taken place. I want to be like, hey, I tried. And that no meant this not right now, and I need to rework it. That's often how I think about life. I'm like, that just means not right now, and I need to rework it. And so I'm often a person that I'm always like, I love to manifest the life I want. I love to pray on it. I love to take the steps to reach that. I feel a very spiritual person. It will all come in due time, but you got to work for it. You got to ask for it.
Yeah. And asking people, but also asking the universe, right? To look a little further. You're praying on it. You are asking a higher, write it down, say it to whomever you want to say it to, and ask for that support from. Like,
correct.
You got to get it out your mouth, right?
Correct.
Get out of your mouth.
I love it. I love that energy. I will look at someone like, you want it? Let's do it. Do it. I write everything down on my notepad, on my phone. Anytime I have a thought, I'm like, I want this. I want that. I just write it down.
Yeah. Sarah Jakes Roberts. Do you know who Sarah Jakes Roberts is? I heard her on the Mel Robbins podcast. I don't know when it was, but like I listened to it 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
And it stopped me in my tracks, especially as I was starting to stand up production around this podcast, because she's like, you have to let it live outside of you.
That part. Closed mouths don't get fed. Someone told me the other day, I'm like, oh my God, you're right. You used to hear that growing up, but it's true. You have to have it. Listen, I think anything's attainable. I think the craziest ideas are the ones that usually come to fruition.
Yeah. Because they're most exciting. So people talk about them. They get the energy going. But your connection here is directly to work in this one. But let's talk about it in our personal lives too. And then I'd like to talk about how movement has helped reinforce this lesson for you. It has. So in your personal life, when you're asking for it, sometimes people have a harder time asking for whatever it is with a loved one than they do with work. How does that play out for you?
No, 100%. I also come from a background where I'm around very strong women that are self-starters and do it themselves. And I'll also say I'm very type A. I admit it. I'm type A. No amount of therapy can ever convince me otherwise. Try to get me not to be type A. I wish I could live a calmer life, but I just can't. But yes, I would say the biggest struggle I have is wanting to feel like I can take everything on. And so I've been trying to really be diligent of asking for help when I need it and not waiting until I just crash and burn. And what I also have been doing is I have this incredible thing called a vibration plate. So when I feel overwhelmed or if I feel like I'm taking too much on, I stop in my tracks. I lay on the vibration plate, stand on it, and I'm like, okay, let's think about all the variety of things that you have to get done. And let's think about who else can take this on.
Then movement being part of your foundation. And I argue from my own experience that lifting actually taught me how to ask for what I need. As a fellow overachiever, first daughter, got to do it all by myself.
That energy.
Lifting And being in a crew and a crew that consistently showed up for each other, I got real good about asking for the weights that I wanted on the bar, asking for specific spotters in specific places, getting groups of people together, asking for what I need so that I could lift. But then all of a sudden, I was communicating better in just about every other aspect of my life.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point when you said movement. So for me, what I've learned through movement is to listen to my body, hence the vibration played, hence the now more than ever, because I'm listening to my body. I know when I've been sitting too long. I know when I'm actually depleted, it's my hips. I know when I just feel like I don't have as much creativity, it's because I need to move, get myself out there, feel the fresh air on my face, and be okay with some things that are going to have to be delayed if I'm not at my best.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, us as marketers, we're truly not saving lives.
Yep.
We're not. And once you figure that out, it will set you free.
Yeah. But it's fun to tell big stories.
It is fun to tell big stories, correct.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing is you got to move your body. And I wasn't moving my body for so long. Hence, that's where a lot of challenges will come from. Within, when you don't move your body, things get stuck in place that should not be stuck.
Yes. And you were talking about sitting, and like, again, it's actually proven because everything in your body conjoins in your sacrum, right? Like everything is right here.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you want blood and energy to be moving through that area? So you are deep into a high performance career. You have spent years in these environments where being busy is a badge of honor. You've talked about boundaries, but I'd really like you to share a little bit about the moment when that shifted for you. What made you start listening to your body differently? What should people be listening for?
Yeah, it depends where your pain's coming from. I feel like you should start listening to your body, especially as a woman, if sleep doesn't come easy to you. You should be sleeping at least, this is for me, 7 to 8 hours a night. And you can see a considerable difference once you do that. I would say for me, I have really bad TMJ. So
but what's TMG? Jaw clenching.
Yep, TMJ, jaw clenching. So jaw clenching, which depending on where your TMJ is affected, it can affect your hearing, your neck, your back, all of it's connected. So your hips, your pelvic, your TMJ, your feet, your ankles, all of it's connected. And I wish they spoke more about that as like a young adult, as a woman, because I think that it would solve a lot of our problems if we knew more about our bodies. What came to a head for me is that I was pushing it for so long. And then it became a situation where my hearing started going in and out because I was clenching my jaw so terribly.
Okay.
My hips were really in pain and I just could not really sleep.
Wow.
I was
so
really
you had it all. You were like, I have all of this. Something ain't right.
Yeah. And for someone that used to have an autoimmune disorder very young, I was like, I'm good. I'm really not trying to take medicine like I did before. I'm really not trying to get poked and I'm good. Yeah. So I need to get this together.
Yeah.
It truly makes a difference once you really look within is what type of life I'm trying to live. Because I'm trying to live a long, beautiful life where I can move my body. I can still hike when I'm like 90.
Yeah.
This is the life I'm trying to live.
So, and what was the first step you took?
The first step was trying to figure out how I needed to position my life that will provide me the most opportunity to get the rest I need and take the breaks I needed. So am I blocking off my calendar appropriately? What am I going to bed? What time am I going to bed? How am I moving my body throughout the week? I try to move my body 4 to 5 times a week. And like when I tell you, I really wasn't moving it like that, or what I was doing is doing tons of cardio. And this is another thing, depending on where you are each month or how you're feeling, cardio does not hit the same and people don't realize that. You're laughing like,
no, I laugh because I agree with you, right?
Agree. People are doing all this hardcore cardio. No, let me do my Pilates. I probably get more out of Pilates for my body than I did at that cardio that day. Maybe. Don't get me wrong. I think cardio is still important. I still do a couple of days of cardio, but my workouts consist of 4 days of weights, 3 or 4 days of weights, 1 to 2 days of Pilates, alternate, and a couple of things of Orange Theory, because I like Orange Theory. I think Orange Theory is cool.
Orange Theory is wonderful.
Orange Theory is amazing, because you know what I appreciate about Orange Theory? I think it's a great community of folks. It doesn't matter where you are in the level of fitness. It's something for everyone, and everyone's so encouraging when you get in there. Whoever you're sitting, whoever you're by, depending on the station you're at, it's amazing. I love it. And so I do that a couple times a week. plus all the other things I do. And I think this is such a great balance. And I walk, take the bike sometimes. It just depends how.
So you're outside too, right? Let's
Yeah.
not you've talked a lot about nature and being outside and doing your
Yeah.
I'm going to call them urban hikes, right? Like
Yeah.
Central Park or just up and down that.
Yeah.
You're outside, you're getting fresh air, the sun, vitamin D. That's all is equally important.
Oh, yeah.
And while we haven't called it out specifically, you've talked a lot about relationships, and that's also a big part of health.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's a key. Relationships. I think as you get older too, you realize who serves you and who does not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's professionally and personally. You got to make sure you have a good tribe, a good community around you that helps lift you up and also checks in and be like, hey, are you doing what you need to do? Have you taken a walk? Hey, take a walk with me. Are you moving your body like you should? Let's go. Like, I think that's really important. And even if you don't have that, you can find that. And I think that's the key. If you don't have that, I think you should always try to find that.
What are some quick tips for people who need to find that?
Yeah, so I'm really extroverted too. I'm an Aquarius Aries, so honey, I'm floating in the wind. Love a dilly dally. So I would say yes, I love a dilly dally.
You would never know it though.
Yeah, so I would say that where I meet my friends and people now, I'm gonna say outside of work because I think work's an easy cop out. So for me, it's at Orange Theory. If I'm there, like I go to Orange Theory now, I'm just saying like some workout. If you go move your body at some gym, like I'll do that. I think Pilates is a very community based type of workout. I have people I've met through Pilates, but also I like to go to networking events because I take my time to meet really interesting people. I feed off people's energy, and you know when you meet someone really interesting and you all's energy like really jives very well. But I'm very intentional. But you have to be intentional with the spaces you enter in. Sometimes I want to go out to eat by myself. I'll sit at the bar. You'd be surprised. I'm also in New York. People love chit-chatting.
Most people love the chit-chat.
Yes, but you have to be open. Your energy has to be right in order to receive someone new in your life. I think that's the key too. And you have to be willing to meet that person halfway and to engage.
I love how you set it up. You're like, it's really anywhere. What came up for me, I'm like, if I just held the door at the grocery store, I'd probably
never know,
someone, right?
Yeah, you're in the burbs, girl. Listen. Anytime I visit my mom and my sister in the burbs, I'm out in the streets.
Yeah,
I'm meeting somebody, like farmers market, something.
Yeah. You talk about ambition and well-being not being at odds. You have now shared what it was like to have ambition, what it was like to find well-being, but how do you hold space for both now?
I check in with myself. I check in with myself daily. Before I used to push myself really hard to be everything to everyone. Now it's about pushing myself hard to be everything to myself. Everything I could possibly reach or can attain in reason with myself. And so if I'm not feeling great, I'm exhausted, I'm not in a good space, I take a moment, I take a beat, and I usually spend time with myself to try to figure out why is that the case. And I say that too when I'm speaking as a woman, as a Black woman. There's a lot on especially women's shoulders to be the best of the best, to be everything, especially in light of this economy when the job market is the way it is, etc. But at the same time, we have to realize we can't take all that on. We can't take the world on. Because at the end of the day, who's looking out for you but yourself or the people that truly love you?
So when you're checking in, what are you asking yourself?
I'm asking myself, okay, taking a moment. I usually close my eyes and like, how am I feeling from the head to the toe? How am I feeling? Let's reset. What do you want to accomplish today? Sometimes I talk to myself in a mirror. I'm like, it's about to be a great day. Tap in.
Oh, I love that.
And if I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, today's not the day, Elise. And then I'm like, I need to tap out.
Yeah. So what I love about this is there's actually a big physical element to you checking in with yourself, whether you're putting yourself in front of the mirror or you're like, how do I feel from my head to my toe? It's you're allowing yourself the opportunity to get into your body before you get cerebral.
That is absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct, Dana. And I know a lot of people don't do that and people might think that's woohoo, but I think more people should do this. I saw, who's the model? Oh my God, Cindy Crawford. People are making fun of her and I'm like, this is my dream, how she's waking up. Because they're like, I can't believe she does all this. She wakes up, she starts her day at like 5 a.m. in the morning, She wakes up. I think she does some grounding. Like she walks around the grass, does some grounding. She jumps on like to kind of loosen up that lymphatic drainage. She has a mini trampoline. You can use a vibration plate. She has something warm putting in her body. She stretches, moves her body, journals, writes her notes out, thinking about what her day looks like. And I'm like, why are y'all making fun? Please, that is my dream to figure out how to actually get to a point where I could do all those things in the morning. I would love to be able to ground myself in the morning like that.
Yeah.
In like a patch of, I'm in New York City, so no one's
gonna have to get a patch of grass for your balcony. Yeah.
Correct. But I have my balcony, and actually it was so funny. I have like a Zen thing going, I have fake grass and stuff now, and I'm like,
awesome.
I need to start. And she sits in the sun, like getting that vitamin D.
That first, like the first morning sunlight's good for your body. At the cellular level, you get so much power.
Correct. And people have been saying this for generations. I'm like, that is the thing. I'm like, when she did all that, I'm like, why are people making fun of this woman? I think it's the most incredible thing I've ever seen. I want to do that every day and have 2 hours of my day dedicated just to reset. Think about how amazing all of us would be. How much better. It doesn't sound amazing. And that's why, hence, I actually love going to Arizona. Because there I can do all of those things. I love the natural sunlight. I think the vortex is a real thing. I love the energy there. I love hiking. I love being in fresh air. I love it all. But I would say that when you think about checking in with yourself, I don't do all those things, but I try to wake up and be like, okay, let's get in and let's check in. And I try to now do that more throughout the day. I'm getting older now. And I'm like, I just don't have the same stamina as I did before.
For sure.
And I don't know if you feel that way. I just don't have the same energy.
Oh, no. And I'm far more picky about where I spend my energy.
Yes,
like,
that part.
I'm more accepting of trade-offs that I may not have been accepting of 20 years ago.
And this is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm like, ooh, I would like that. Oh, but it's going to cost me that, like physically or emotionally or my time. And
that part. So I think that's the key. I just wish early on, and now it's fine. I'm all about forward looking too, but I like to be reflective of the past. I wish that I would have learned this a lot sooner. I think we're kind of going all the way around to how we started. When you think about being mentally and physically strong and asking for what you want, I think it's first checking in with yourself and being like, how do you want to feel? How do you want to show up into the world? And that's mentally and that's physically. And I think being strong is the best place you should be. Being strong, not skinny, strong, being lean, etc., but strong. And I wish that more people had that in their vocabulary, of being strong mentally, being strong physically, not because you can't be vulnerable, but having that type of strength. And I don't think you get that strength physically or mentally without eating. You can have snacks and stuff, but eating the right foods to fuel your body, getting the right rest you need, being around the people that fill you with joy, doing the work that you feel like is impactful for you, whatever that looks like, and moving your body, whatever that looks like for you. If that's lifting weights, if that's Pilates, if that's walking, if that's running, it's just listening to your body. And I think those are the 5 components that bring me joy. And I would say lastly too, and this is bonus, having a hobby of some sort.
Yeah.
We spend all our day trying to just be very consumed with social media nonstop. And I think that one of the things I'm trying to do is not have the TV on as much, get out of my phone and stop doom scrolling and pick up a needle and thread, move my hands, do something. I eat more. I don't even know, but do something that requires me to just concentrate on something else.
Yeah.
So that's
I love it. I love it. And I love that you can distinctly find those categories for yourself. And I feel like it's usually 5 categories people talk about. I know it's 5 categories I talk about as well.
Ooh.
So for the women who are in the thick of their demanding careers, as we wrap up here, what's the first ask they should make of themselves?
Are you asking for everything you want? And what are you leaving on the table? Write it down.
Okay.
Write it down. Write down every single thing you feel like you haven't asked for. And that's personally and professionally.
Love it. I'd love for you to share a muscle moment, a time movement taught you or someone in your orbit something bigger than the exercise itself.
Something that was bigger than something that was taught to me. A nervous system reset. So your nervous system controls so much of who you are and what you do. Learning your nervous system will really transform your life.
Love that.
And so many women are in fight or flight, which affects so many other aspects of their life. And so how do you properly reset your nervous system? How do you know when you feel like you're not in a great space?
Yeah.
And once you start asking yourself that question, other people have helped me get to that point. You just are better for it.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite song to work out to?
Favorite song, honey, I like it all. Let's see, my favorite song. I'm just going to say genre, I love Sade.
Okay.
People are like, you dance? I love Sade. I love calming music because my nervous system is well. I love a calming Sade moment. I can be at the gym running cardio. You put Sade on, I'm like, I'm flowing.
Still doing the same workout, just doing
it.
Just
like, honey, I'm in my own jam. Like,
yeah.
I love it because I love thinking about when you're at the gym and someone that's a gym woman yourself. It's just so fascinating to really understand what is everyone listening to. I remember my friend put my earphones. Are you listening to jazz or something? I'm like, yeah, girl, I need to reset why I'm doing things. Please.
I love that. I went in the thick of powerlifting and training with all these big dudes, big tattooed, shaved heads, the typical strength athlete look, and Taylor Swift banging hard in their AirPods. Like, absolutely.
That's why I never judge a book by its cover.
Never.
People be surprising me every single day.
Elise, as we're wrapping up our conversation here, I have a secret question from the last guest, taking a page out of Diary of a CEO's book here. What's something you used to do as a kid that you wish you still made time for?
Sewing.
Really? Sewing? You're a seamstress. Yeah. Awesome.
I'm a seamstress.
You were saying you were going to the fabric district.
I know, because my spirit tells me there's something else I'm missing here. So we'll see. But I have a really great seamstress that's under the radar. He does good work at my favorite dry cleaners in my neighborhood. And yeah, my grandmother had taught me when I was very young, and I actually have a sewing machine and everything. I just haven't gotten to do a lot of that work with my hands, but maybe one day I'll find my way back. I think knitting is the first phase for me.
I can
That's
see.
why I'm trying to execute it. I'm trying to execute the knitting. I need to go back.
I really want that new skill, though.
Yeah, I was frustrated. I was like, I gotta come back when I'm in a better spirit.
Yes. If the audience wanted to find you, tell the people, where should they look for you?
Yeah, look me up. So you can follow me through LinkedIn, Elise Brown, at All Rays, or you can find me on Instagram, Fab World of Elise. I hope my posts are fabulous. Who knows at this point, honey? I'm just trying every day, living my best life I possibly can.
People love what you have to say.
So I would say that is where I'm at. And in terms of where else can you find me floating around? I mean, just trying to live my best life. Trying to live my life like it's golden every single day, and try to be around incredible people that teach me things about me, about my body, about life as we know it. And Dana is one of those people. So Dana, thank you so much for having me on this incredible podcast.
Thank you for being part of it. Thank you for making time for this conversation. I hope it was a welcome break to your day. And I so appreciate you bringing your energy and grace to the Muscle Moments community.
Thank you so much. Always appreciate you.
Friends, thanks for listening to this episode of Muscle Moments. I hope you enjoyed it. This is just your quick reminder that any advice or information that has been shared on this episode is for entertainment purposes only. This is not medical advice from a healthcare provider. These are conversations with me and my friends about why strength is awesome. If you have questions about what your body is experiencing, make sure you find the coach or practitioner that's right for you. If you want to learn more about Will to Fit coaching, you can find the link in the bio.